All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Gankutsuou, the Count of Monte Cristo, episode 6.
All right. So the Count is showing a little bit of a vulnerable side to seduce Albert even more.
Maybe like a very measured amount of vulnerable, just enough to keep this moth coming closer to the flame and everything.
But his improv skills, when things went a little bit chaotic, he knew what to do.
He knows what he's doing. He's been around the block a couple times.
Yeah,
but
he's starting to also weave his way into Morcerf's business a bit more directly. And also we've now seen Danglars for the first time.
Yes.
Who is
doing quite well.
Big money. Bigger, I think, even than Morcerf by like a lot.
Probably, yeah. Morcerf seems more like the influence type person.
The influencer with like I have the most incredible backstory of how I attained all of this.
Yes. Yeah, right. But then also we had that whole duel. Because things got kind of dicey for a second there.
Yeah.
And, a bit more of insight into our good boy Maximilian.
Yeah. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this.
もう少し考えた方がいいと思うんです。
何を言い出すんだ。
彼女のこと本当に愛しているかどうかよくわからなくて。
まずは形からだ。気持ちは後からついてくる。はい。
Wow.
That happened with you and Mom?
アルベル様、モンテクリスト伯爵様のお使いの方がこれをと。
伯爵のオペラ座の招待状。悪いけどこれユージェニーに届けてもらえないかな。
アルベール、お前が行くんだ。
Yeah, there you
そうい
go.
う細やかな心遣いが少しずつ彼女にも伝わるんだよ。
What is this like? Actually, good advice from the dad.
Yeah.
Like,
right, it's the hey, well, okay, you might not have feelings for her yet. Would you like to do something about that?
Yeah.
Wait, I forget.
Oh.
いやあ、おはようユージェニー。
Wow.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
おはようござい
Wow,
ます。
she really can't stand him.
Yeah.
おはよう。ゆっくり眠れたかね。
Wow.
おかげさまで。
Oh my god.
ところでオリンポス鉱山。
Little
誰よりも早
insider
い情
shit
報には
there.
それなりの報酬を渡すつもりだ。急いでなければ朝食を一緒にどうかな。
Wow.
Yeah, Eugenie is like,
Livid.
yeah, in the thick of all this nonsense.
ありがとうございました。今ユージェニーに届けに行くところだったんです。
私もダングラール男爵のところへ
Oh.
取引に伺うところです。
これは奇遇だ。ぜひ僕に紹介役を任せてください。
A wonderful
それは願ってもない
coincidence.
かと。
奥様の馬でエクリプスというパリでも一番の名馬がいるんです。
Lips.
ほう。
アルベル、ユジアン、どうしたこんな朝早く。
Yeah, why are you
あ
here?
れこれと忙しくてね。
Your hands full?
ユージェニ
Really?
ー、おはよ
Really?
男ならうまく立ち回らないと。ね。伯爵、今度はうちにもご招待させてください。
それはぜひ。
ああ、そうだ。後で部屋に寄るから。
Stop by your room later. Like, it's an afterthought or something to actually see you.
Yeah, he's more excited about the fact that he's seeing the Count than,
ミシェル、オリンポス鉱山が落ち始めた。少し買い支えるふりをしてさらに落とすぞ。ミシェル、例のモンテクリスト伯爵とやらの評価
the
結果
way
は出
he
たの。
moves.
調査
Yeah.
者3社のうち2社がダブル A プラス1社がトリプル A をつけています。爵位も本物です。
おはようございます。男爵、こちらモンテクリスト伯爵。一言ご紹介したくて。伯爵はご懇意の銀行も特にお持ちではないとのこと。
He doesn't have a place to put all his
男
money.
爵をご紹介しなくてはと思いまして。
それは立派な心がけだ。
Frame,
ご
you
紹
know?
介。ありがとうございま
Ah, such a pleasure.
Wait. Wait.
No.
No way.
トムソン&フレンチ商会から紹介状と契約書が届いております。あの会社が個人の後見人を引き受けるとは正直驚きました。
東方宇宙最高の金融機関です。
こちらによりますと、融資額に上限が定められておりません。
Wow.
つまり伯爵様がご希望されれば、我が銀行は際限なくご融資をし続けるという契約にも読めてしまうのです。この世にはそんな一方的なお取引はございません。
ですがトムソン&フレンチ商会は私に対しそれを認めているのです。まさかこの契約書を疑っておいでですか？
この契約書は本物でした。
なるほど。となりますと、あなたはこの私が信用できないとおっしゃるのですね。
Yes, that is exactly the case.
And he would be right to do so.
Just me, or did they just go a bit all out in the animation this episode? There's like so many parts where
伯爵から今夜のオペラ座の剣を預かってる。
あのモンテクリスト伯爵だが、早速オペラ座の桟敷を抑えたそうだよ。
He, who, me, 5億？
今日こちらに口座を開きこれを入金する。致し方ありますまい。他の銀行を当たるとしましょう。
ちょっとお待ちになってください。お待ちください。
リュシアもやるよな。お父さん相手に朝から商談とはね。
あなたってほんと子供ね。
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
あんなやつに感心しちゃうわけ。
あんなやつって友達じゃないか。
Oh.
友達が私の母親
Okay,
と
good
似てる
job
のに。
telling him.
では確かにこちらはご口座に入金させて
He got it. He got
Yep.
it.
ところで先ほど伺ったのですが、男爵はパリで最高の馬をお持ちとか。
ほう、伯爵も馬にご興味を。
実はその馬を売っていただきたいと思いましてね。
はあまたご冗談を。あの馬は妻の持ち物です。
しかるべき金額を出せば全てのものは売り物になる。
We just found that out with 500 million there.
Yeah.
あなたでは
Oh my god. He is having trouble bearing, like, not bearing his fangs.
Right,
you know?
exactly. The disdain and hatred.
And he just rode out with it. He just rode out with it.
Oh my
audacity!
God.
Strife in the
なん
house.
だ失礼だぞ。どうもすいません伯爵。うちのワイフです。
I thought he rode out with the horse.
Yeah.
スはどこよ。
I guess he just had someone else take the
伯
horse.
爵ちょっと失礼いたします。
エクリプスを売ったですって。
伯爵は580万フランのあの馬を2000万でお買い上げくださった。
エクリプスは私の馬よ。
だから馬は
お金の話じゃありません。明日はビルフォールの奥様ともお約束してる。
Oh, here's how this is all connected.
Yeah.
男爵夫人、あなたのような美しい
Oh,
Forgive
this
me.
is-
And now he can show how magnanimous he is.
私は6000万も出せば十分ご満足いただけると考えたのですが、人にはそれぞれ金額には変えられない大切なものがございます。
そんな。
Oh
ですが
no.
ちょっと
Oh
お待ち
no.
待って
Did you see
今
that?
確か6000
Yeah.
万とおっしゃいませんでした。
6000万を純金でお支払い申し上げました。
そうですか。つかぬことをお伺いいたしました。あなた、私が相手でも上前を跳ねるおつもりでしたの？
誤解だ。
Wow.
アルベール、どこか行きましょう。
Yeah, please take me away from
い
this.
つものことよ。
Albert, you can be such a like a man here and just be just there for her in
Yep.
case she needs to
Uh-huh.
talk or anything.
Right.
最低の家、最低の父親。
でもダングラールさんは君のことを大切に思ってるよ。
No, she really doesn't.
何にも分かってないのね。
Yeah.
ここにいる限り、私たちは永遠に親から逃げられないわ。
Wow.
私はもっと自由に生きたい。
She's basically asking you to run away with her.
I mean, she might not love him though.
No.
So, yeah, I think she wants to just be free.
一緒に家を出よう。
バカ。
I knew it! I knew it!
Okay.
I was like, where's the baka? When is it coming?
今夜のドレス合わせなきゃ。
No, but you.
But we are going to the opera.
Yeah. But you did say that. She's going
Right.
to remember that.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily something that has to happen today.
Wait, what?
Alien things? Oh.
He's done it up.
Oh my god, what an entrance.
Greetings.
Oh my god, this environment.
Oh, and they got one of the
Jeez.
box seats. Wait. Ah, they're hanging out separate. Okay.
Okay.
あ、
Oh.
こんばん
Oh.
は。自分の招待状をいただいたのですが、なんだか
Of course.
間違い
I'll
ない
bet you anything the Count gave him the
Oh,
invitation.
absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my
Whoa.
god!
Holy shit.
I mean... Oh my god.
Right,
But it's still so pretty.
あの時期
Wow.
プリンスのご座所は封印されていたはずでしょ
Okay, yeah, so...
悲しい事故からもう20年になるのに
Wait, 20
永久リ
years.
ザーブされた方がいらっしゃるそうよ不吉ね亡くなられた方が戻られたみたい
Everyone immediately.
アルベールどういうお知り合い
And then cut from that to drinking.
馬がエクリプスが戻ってまいりましたなんですって
Wow.
あれは亡きプリンスの
The highest one, also the closest to the stage.
Oh no. Oh no.
Wait.
「伯爵様より奥様、この度のお詫びとお近づきの印にとのことです。」
どうしましょうまあなんて素敵な
なあミシェル、あの男は何か隠してるぞ。
Oh shit.
不審な点は見当たりませんが、
よーく調べてみろ。奴の取引先を徹底的に洗え。
わかりました。
No!
Oh!
Wait,
whoa!
what?
Whoa! Whoa! Who is she pointing at?
She was pointing at Dad.
No, I know, but from his
Oh,
perspective.
right.
Dude, we are all on the Count stage.
Yep.
Like,
Uh-huh.
and he is the conductor.
Holy shit. That episode went by so fast.
I know!
Oh, boy.
Y'all, this episode gave us everything. Like,
Yeah.
everything.
So, what do we want to talk about first?
So, just rapid fire real quick here.
Danglars.
No.
Oh,
Hold
okay.
on. Just rapid fire. Touched upon a lot of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Just a lot of them. We got really good animation for the characters.
Yes.
And I cannot be going crazy and just like noticing nothing. Like it felt like this episode was a cut above the rest in terms of what the characters' faces and bodies were doing when they were being animated.
Usually, I feel like when in past episodes, when we would get those moments of introspection and things like that, it was not that the character animation was worse at all, but that it was done in a simpler way because it was a lot more straightforward, right?
Yeah.
It would be things like Mercedes, sort of looking away, or like
a lot of looking over environments and stuff that were pretty and stuff. But in terms of the character animation, it seemed minimal. But we had multiple moments where there were characters showing excitement and personality.
Yeah,
and
like
humanity in their
Maximilian's whole thing of
movements
like
and
having, it's a loner. And...
Even Lucien Debray and his excited like I just had sex kind of movements and stuff. It was like, What? Why are the animators popping off here? This is so good. And then, of course, all the 3D and 2D blending and stuff. Hades' dress
That was
all kinds of just visual
amazing.
treats this episode. But then we touched upon, literally, it felt like almost every single character that we've been introduced to. Like
the only one who
Beauchamp
didn't really would be like
or
Franz or
Franz was at the concert or the opera.
But oh my god, like so okay.
And then we also introduced the Danglars.
We introduced the Danglars proper, right?
Yes.
And we got to see how Eugenie fits into that whole family.
That is not a family.
Oh my god.
That is a mess.
That is like
that is a nightmare.
That makes me think of the part in Monogatari where someone goes into someone's house and then just starts screaming, you know. Keeping it vague for spoilers, but like that my heart goes out to you, Eugenie. And I got to say, Albert, all things considered, you did fairly well this episode.
Oh,
you know, you came around eventually. Eugenie, good job for actually telling him what's going on, since
we're adults.
Right, yeah, you're adults, and let's face it, he's a dumbass who's not going to put two and two together. So since this is bothering you, just get it out there, right?
Yeah, one of the things that Albert has been shown to see is that it would be disrespectful of him to assume the worst of these people. And yet he is already starting to assume the worst of at least his mother for now.
Right. Well, yeah. Well, is it an assumption if there's evidence?
Well, there isn't any yet. He hasn't seen anything.
It's just that bit of doubt.
It's
you know,
suspicion. Yeah.
Right.
So right now, the Danglars, we have them introduced properly.
Yep.
We know how the mom pa Danglars dynamic doesn't work.
Yes, but I gotta say, as far as entertainment, holy shit, it works.
It was so entertaining.
That was wonderful. Like the idea that okay, yeah, one of Albert's buds banging Eugenie's mom, right? Then he goes out and talks with the dad. Like in the home, the dad's there.
Business advice on investing.
Right, gives him business advice on investing, and he's like, "Hey, I like you, my boy. You know, yeah.
Stay for breakfast."
Right, stay for breakfast. You know, keep giving me the good stuff. Right. Holy shit.
You know what I wouldn't doubt?
Mm-hmm.
I'll bet you he knows, and he actually prefers it this way.
Sure.
Because you know what probably is just going on in general?
It makes things easier for me.
Yeah, it makes things
keep
easier.
Keep the wife happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't doubt potentially that she knows that he knows and doesn't care that he knows.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm sure okay. In this dynamic, I'm sure there are multiple layers of basically really weird power plays and fuckery going on.
Pun intended.
Because on the one hand, I'm sure that Albert's buddy, Lucien Debray, yes, is just like, oh, hell yeah, I'm banging this guy's wife in his own house, and if he even knows about it and stuff or whatever, even better, but then he invites me to breakfast, hell yeah.
Yeah.
With the wife. All right, well, given how my husband is with his money and things like that, and my things and whatnot, I need to be able to carve out a stake of what's mine.
Right.
And by banging somebody in our own home, right? That's something that I can...
Like, ooh, that's risky. That's exciting.
Or at the very least, even if it is something
it's a power play, too.
It's a power play, right?
Yeah,
even if Danglars knows, it's something where she's saying, this is mine. You don't own me, right?
I want to look at it that way too, in that Lucien is actually the one just being used.
Oh, totally.
Hey, boy toy, I need you at my place tonight at 11.
For some reason, I get the feeling he's okay with that.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he's like 20 or something like that, and he's just like, dude, like,
oh yeah,
MILF.
Are you sure, honey? Because I've got 3 more appointments today.
I just wish he would be a little bit more respectful about the idea that Eugenie is their friend.
Right, and he's banging her mom.
And it's just like, yeah. They're not
like,
stupid. Dude.
Right, there's no kind of like, sorry, you know? Like,
yeah, it might be a thing where Eugenie didn't know until today, maybe.
That is possible.
But this was maybe the point where she knows that she knows that she knows now.
Right, she had suspicions, and now it's like, okay, you're not even trying to hide it, right?
Like, yeah.
And he's just like, he's not thinking about her at all because he just had sex. He's like, oh yeah.
But I'm gonna go put on a red blazer after this.
Right. Yeah. Ron Swanson coming in his like Tiger Woods outfit.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's the Danglars situation.
Mm-hmm.
The Count goes in and wants to have him be his bank.
But before we go into the whole bank thing, and then just the fact that on top of that, Papa Danglars, oh my God, they did an excellent job of making him absolutely just despicable. Like the fact that he was like, a few hundred investors are gonna hang themselves for this. It was like a joke, but then also something where he's like, that probably will happen. Like, okay, all right.
I cannot wait to see this guy humiliated.
Yep.
Of all the characters that in the Count of Monte Cristo story that I usually had the most catharsis seeing have the revenge like exacted upon them, I never really was that excited about the Mercedes Morcerf kind of angle of things. That was more of like a sad aspect of things.
Yeah.
And then Villefort is a more like, ooh, that was exciting and spicy.
Yeah.
But Danglars, I'm like, yeah, fuck you.
Right. Danglars is the fuck you. Yeah. Villefort, by the end of it, I feel bad for the guy.
Bad for the guy.
Like it's the okay, he did something he shouldn't have, but my man paid for it even before the Count came along. He went through some shit. Like, oh my God, just being married to the wife that he has.
Okay, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Yeah, exactly. But with Danglars,
fuck that guy.
Yeah, exactly. I just love how much they've set us up to be excited for his downfall. Now, the Count, salesman style, comes in, waves his dick around,
right.
Throws his money.
500 million.
Nice, flaccid, just pop, like 500 million.
What I love about this
casually
is that it's like 500 million. No, it's that Doctor Who thing of, is that a lot? Well,
it depends on context.
Depends on context,
Yes.
right? 500 million just in cash on the table. That's a lot of money. When you open the account for him and then you realize he starts transferring in trillions, not a lot of money.
Not a lot of money.
You got played.
You got played
and
hard.
And what I love is that he knows that he got played, right? And that's part of the revenge, because it's not just that the Count has to kill them. That'd be too easy. Right. He has to break them.
Baste the turkey.
Baste the turkey, which I will then proceed to have sex with. Right? But, and in this situation, Danglars knows that he's been played, knows that the Count played him like a fiddle, and yet he still is going to go along with it.
Well,
and he knows he's going to go along.
He is actually going to start investigating.
He's investigating,
which the Count is okay with.
Yeah.
In some ways, what I like about this is the Count just put a black hole into his mind where all of his money will sink into.
Right.
Because now he's panic.
Exactly.
He is the panic. Wait a minute.
But
I just walked into the realm of a giant, of a god.
Yeah.
That kind of money.
The fact that he offered me
disgusting.
Is disgusting. The fact that he offered me 60 million for the horse, who gives a rat's ass?
Yeah.
Because
I'll just give it back. I don't care about the horse.
I don't care. I don't care about the horse. I don't care about the money. Now, he did some cybernetic shit to it apparently, which is like, okay.
I'm so excited.
I am so down for that. I am so down for that. But like, this is one of those things where it's the the Count is The
Count is a spider.
The Count is a spider. And Danglars is a cockroach.
Yeah, he's tough.
He's tough. Yeah. Right. But the thing is,
this is your natural predator, my dude.
Right. Well, sure. But then also just the idea that they, that like really awful cheesy line of like the best revenge is success or whatever, right?
Okay.
So
right,
because the Count so completely slapped Danglars in the face with his dick, with his money dick, right?
Yeah.
Danglars is now going to not be able to help but think about the Count constantly.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be suspicious. He's looking into his activities, all his deals and things like this. And even though he won't find anything, or maybe he will.
No,
Who knows, right?
That's the point, is the Count is going to place specific things that will make it so easy to manipulate him.
Right. But the thing is that the Count is after their mind and soul.
Oh, yeah.
Not their bodies and their finances.
Right, of course.
So the fact that he is able to unnerve Danglars like this is the real revenge. And
Right.
it's just the beginning.
Yeah. So one of the things I'm really excited how they do this in the sci-fi thing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the Count manipulate Danglars by thinking that Danglars will have some kind of special insider info as to how he makes his money. And then the Count will rip everything away. And the line he said of a few hundred investors will hang themselves is literally the foreshadowing of what the Count will do to him. Is basically he'll create this really elaborate facade of wealth going in this direction. This is where it's moving and funneling and stuff, and he's going to use this information to be like, oh, this is how I can get rich like the Count. Fantastic. Put all of his money into it, and then just, and then it's just gone.
Right. The ground disappears from under him, and he falls into an abyss. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the kind of guy you want to see crawling, crying, a mess on the ground, scratching out his face, and just like...
Right, because the Count knows how to hurt him, right? If he did... So when they brought up the horse, one of the things that I thought of was that part in The Godfather, right? Where they go to the place and, an offer he can't refuse, and then you find the horse, the head of the prized horse in your bed, right? And it's like, oh God, this could be me, I'll do whatever you want,
and
right?
It's just something he was just going to save in the background.
Yeah,
until something like that.
But no, it's not even about that, because quite frankly, Danglars wouldn't give a rat's ass about the horse.
Nope.
Even Eugenie mentioned
he put the moves on your wife.
Right. Well, yeah.
Hard.
And Danglars still probably wouldn't care about that too much.
No.
But it's another way that he can use a tool to get at you.
Yep.
Right? And that's
this is amazing.
It's a surgery.
Because this is the area of the books. The book, sorry.
It's long enough to be
it could
many
be like
books.
7 books. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't remember.
Me neither.
Like very many of the details. Like I remember very few things about this middle section where we're getting into now the intrigue of the aristocracy in Paris or Paris. And I'm so excited to see now that I absolutely buy everything about the wife's character as well, the Baroness.
Yeah.
The fact that those two have this power play dynamic, and yet you can see how greedy and easily manipulated they are.
Both of them are. Yeah.
Both of them are, exactly. Yeah. I cannot wait for that. But the tie-in also to, I need Eclipse. She was frenzied. She's like, I was going to, with my Madame Villefort, and I'm like, she was name dropped.
Yep.
She was name
Madame
dropped.
Villefort.
The Chaos Queen. She coming.
Bow down.
Bow down. The bad bitch is coming.
Right. If you were wondering why we're bow down, but then at the same time I was saluting Villefort for, I'm sorry, my good sir.
I cannot wait to meet Madame Villefort.
That was some of the most, extreme stuff that the book got into, I feel like.
Well, yeah, but let's not,
not
spoil
No, I'm not going to spoil anything. Yeah. But just, if you know, you know.
You know, yep.
And given the fact that this is a sci-fi...
And a series.
And in a series... But series. Oh man, it works so well as a series. But sci-fi, and I've said this before, one of the best things you can do with it is you can scale things up, right? So everything is more dramatic, bigger numbers, more money.
So horse has been screwed with cybernetically.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's not just the horse was poisoned or something. It
might not even be the same horse.
Right, or it's cybernetic demon horse or something now, right? Who knows? But so the fact that Madame Villefort is getting introduced and it's oh my God, I can't wait.
The Haiti thing.
Yeah.
So Haiti is a character that I very, very, very loosely remember from the books.
Yeah.
The more and more we get from her, the more I'm like, oh, okay.
I vaguely remember
her.
That she existed,
and it sucks because, I think she was actually kind of a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that I don't remember a Morcerf connection at all.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
It's
been so long.
There was a part and I won't even really be able to get into spoilers because I don't remember much of this, but I remember that there was a point where they were doing an investigation and there was letter accounts and stuff because Morcerf got up to sketchy stuff even after the whole deal with Edmond, right? When he was in the army, he did a lot of sketchy stuff.
Well, yeah, he's now gotten his position because he was a tricky fellow.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like that might have been connected to her, but I'm not positive.
But the thing I think that they're setting up here is that she has a desire for revenge as well. She's personally invested in the Count's desires to have revenge on them. And she is not only his confidant and escort, but also she has her own
reasons and
motivation that is entirely separate from the Count's.
And I'm very curious.
I'm really excited about that.
I'm very curious how those two interplay, because I'm guessing
they both want Morcerf probably dead.
Right. And that's probably one of the reasons that they get along so well. Because if there's anyone who has a high likelihood of basically being in the Count's inner circle, close proximity and knowing what he's really up to, it would be her and then his main servant guy, I think it was Jacopo. I think that part wasn't changed in the movie. Yeah,
I believe so.
Even though the character was definitely changed,
completely different.
But so I'm curious to see how that will happen, because the Count is such a big force and figure in this story
that he can kind of swallow up sometimes.
Yeah,
too much.
Right, and I'm very curious to see how someone who is granted still a bit of a figure, right?
Kind of in his shadow.
But but a bit in his shadow can also play into the machinations of what's going on and things like that.
Because one of the things that I think is very likely here is that she didn't know that he was going to be here tonight.
Like the Count might have set this up.
The Count might have entirely set this up. And I think that makes perfect sense given their position.
Right.
He arrived early enough that everyone else made a scene at them. But he also might have arrived just in time to where they completely ignored Morcerf, made him frustrated, so that he would look up at their booth as to where they were all looking at, so that she would see someone, because this is one of the things that I like to go in depth so much into this kind of weird shit here. I'm all about connections.
Yeah.
But when you lock eyes with someone for more than not lock eyes with someone, but when you stare at someone for more than a specific amount of time, it's like almost biological that it triggers your defense mechanisms.
Oh, okay.
You start to feel like you're potentially in danger.
Sure. The whole thing of like, if the person was untrustworthy, it's the what are they assessing right now?
Right. It's the idea of you're around the campfire and the wild dog in the night is looking at you, but you can't tell where it's coming from. You just know you're being watched.
Sure.
And that triggers your survival instincts. It's, evolutionary. But in this case here, we're in an environment where all eyes are on Haiti and the Count. All eyes are looking at them. Except specifically the fact that this is something that shows a position of power and charisma that is above Morcerf's. In a way that makes him jealous.
Yes.
Really jealous.
And I loved that.
It's almost like he's like, no, I wanted to be there. I wanted that spot.
Yeah.
But you stole it from me.
Right.
So he looks up with envy.
Right, because he, just the fact that he also has a box seat, that's a big deal.
Right.
There are a lot of VIPs in this room.
Right. It's the kind of thing where, and this is something I was saving for the discussion here, I believe it's something to the point of where it is passed down via bloodlines. It is not something you buy.
Shit.
It is this family's spot. So the fact that he has one,
right? Because since
he's like, no, I'm special. I earned this, even though my family came from nothing.
Right. Yeah. Because
not from nothing, mind you, but comparatively.
Right. Yeah, because there's so much pomp just surrounding this whole thing of the social elite and all that.
Yeah.
And the people that are down in the regular seats are also part of the social elite.
They are, very much so.
In order to get into this building, you have to be part of the social elite. The fact that Maximilian was able to gain entrance, he was kind of surprised by, right? So then having one of the box seats, and there's maybe 12
24,
or
probably.
24. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's
3x4 on each side.
And the Count, I'm pretty sure, had one of the two most important ones, closest to the stage and highest up, so he can look down on literally everyone else.
And it was the prince's before some horrible accident.
Right. 20 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know if that has anything to do with things there.
Because I'm not entirely sure.
Would have been Edmond by that point.
Yes.
Because that was 16 years ago.
Well,
13 years ago.
because he was in the Chateau d'If for 13 years.
Yeah.
Right. But now that he's
he
here.
Might have been 16 though. I'm not
It
sure.
might have been 16. Okay, it might have
I'm
been.
not sure.
But this would be a few years after that, right? Because of him getting out, because, you know, getting the treasure, getting established his account, all of that stuff, right? That takes time.
But still,
Yeah. His revenge is a lifelong endeavor, you know?
Yeah.
So 20 years ago, I'm curious what that would line up with.
it is a potentially interesting timing thing. But
Yeah.
I just wanted to bring up the idea then that Haiti could feel potentially him looking at her and then locks eyes and they don't stop locking eyes.
Right.
If he's feeling jealousy and he's not realizing that he's necessarily locking eyes with Haiti at all,
Oh, sure,
because they're
yeah,
so
yeah.
far away, they're not using binoculars.
Right. The binoculars come from everyone else.
So she
Yeah.
only vaguely recognizes him by his countenance, his features a little bit, but she's not seeing his eyes and that he's staring like directly
Sure.
at them.
Right.
Like exactly. She then experiences some kind of PTSD.
Right.
Like some kind of trauma
And
gets
I-
brought up in
and
the
I
moment
do
and
believe-
she passes out.
And I do believe that was genuine. Like
Oh, I
there's
100% believe that was
there
genuine.
There was the possibility that it was an amazingly good fake on their part because it's part of both of their revenge, basically.
Yes.
You know, that
I
like
can
the
totally
count
see
was
her
like, "Hey,
faking
we're
it.
gonna do this. We're gonna make this big entrance. All eyes will be on us,
Right.
and then you'll have this freak out, and everyone will just be left to wonder. We'll sow that
Yeah.
seed of doubt. It'll eat him alive."
But in this case, I think it's 100% genuine.
Same. Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it's a thing where I have to assume there's a possibility that it was fake, but I'm all in chips wise
Yep.
on it was
it's
genuine.
It's another example of the whole thing with the duel and stuff from the previous episode of how much of this is all 100% Machiavellian, completely pre-planned versus
improv.
really good improv.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So that's all that. But all this being said, we got Albert to have a little bit of a sweet moment with Eugenie, even though she wasn't being like, I want to run away with you. She was saying, I want to be independent and play piano all over the world.
Right.
Which then he goes, well, let's go. Like, let's do it. And she kind of looks at him with like this, like testing eyes of like, I believe you. You look genuine, but
it's
idiot.
What it felt like to me is it's the thing of you're an idiot. And that bothers me a lot of the time. This time it didn't, but because I know you're an idiot and that you actually would do it,
sure.
Now I'm going to step back into I'll be the responsible one. We can't actually do that right now. We
Right.
have
Well,
let's
of
go to
course
the
not
opera
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly not right now. But I'll remember that you said that for sure because up till now I didn't think you cared enough to even say something like that.
Yeah.
And it's a point where his earnestness is okay. All right.
Yeah. I get
you're not half bad.
Right. I get the vibe though, because they didn't sit together at the opera, because of this whole thing being one where, okay, she's not really in love with him.
Oh no, totally.
It's a thing of where
love doesn't
she needs
that fast.
but she needs repeated actions of this type to know that he's on her side if she had to
when the
abandon
going
her
gets
family.
tough. Right.
Yeah.
Because anyone can say nice words like this and stuff when it's easy, when there's no conflict or pushback. But
Yeah.
the real proof in the pudding.
Yeah. Would you say this to my dad in front of his face?
Exactly.
When there's great risk to you.
Yeah, and would you do that repeatedly, right? Is it just something that you're doing now because you maybe got a pep talk from someone saying, "Hey, you know, like," and I gotta say, what Morcerf said to Albert, I mean,
is good stuff.
Yeah, good on you, dude. Like, yeah.
He might be trying to just manipulate his son because he's like, no, I don't want this union to be broken because I have dealings behind it and stuff.
This is the Danglars family. They're very wealthy. What did you like? Come on.
Right. But it was you know, if we take it out of its context,
right,
and just look at it for what it was,
right,
yeah,
like that is in my mind
father advice.
That is in my mind the ideal way that you would want to handle any kind of arranged marriage situation, right? And of course, it was something that caused Albert to doubt even more because then it's wait, are you speaking from experience? I thought you were textbook romance, right?
Exactly.
Have you not been honest with me, right? And there's that, which is great.
Because I think Albert is smart enough to notice that kind of inconsistency.
Because he's already been doubting it,
so
right?
He's looking for it.
He's looking for it, right?
Yeah.
Normally, it wouldn't be a problem, right? And hence probably why Morcerf actually said that. Because normally it wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah,
you
I've
know?
said this kind of stuff before, and you don't really question it too much.
And hey, it's a very kind of give agency to the person of the present is what you make of it, right? You know, like, hey, if you feel like you don't necessarily love her, well, are you gonna work to change that?
Or do you just then want to then move on?
Yeah.
Try and fight this whole arranged marriage thing.
Right.
It is not going to be easy. I'm going to fight back on it. Yeah.
And it is totally legitimate to fall in love with someone over time.
Mhm.
You know, like that is not a problem.
Yeah.
You know?
Love at first sight is almost entirely bogus.
If you think it happens, then you should probably doubt it. Now, Maximilian is adorable, and I want to see everything go well with Valentine. But that being said, you know, yeah.
And even what they have isn't necessarily love yet.
No,
it's the attraction.
It's the butterflies. It's the It's the is
it's going to
something.
take time.
There may be something there that wasn't there before.
I mean, he is a beast.
Oh, he is a hunk.
And he did, perform a feat of a beast, at that point. So she is also just quite enamored of the, oh my.
Well, right. And it's, oh, hey, someone who's actually, what can I say? Earnestness can, and even if it's, a bit bumbling, sometimes people can find that adorable.
True.
You know?
And also, having a thick body, just
that certainly doesn't hurt.
It helps.
Or being stupid wealthy, yeah. Talking about.
I don't think that has anything to do with their.
No. I was making the connection that Maximilian and Albert kind of were in similar situations this episode with how they interacted with the ladies. Albert a bit more bumbling maybe, or less adorably in the bumbling than Maximilian, but yeah.
Poor Franz.
Yeah, but I mean, is it really poor Franz? Because.
Oh, it is.
I mean, okay.
It is.
Yeah. Yes. No, yeah, just for different reasons. Yeah. I was like, but he doesn't care about Valentine. Oh, wait, no.
Oh,
yes.
wait.
Yeah.
All right. But, y'all, so much packed into this episode. The Count is at the top of his game, and yet I could feel that he was giving up maybe just a little bit too much of his guys for the sake of enjoyment. Now, while he made his move on Baroness Danglars by giving back Eclipse.
With diamonds.
Yes.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Nothing to him. I really want to see how he basically gets her on his side in the future with this, because this is something where he's indirectly setting up the Villefort situation, because the horse is going to be utilizing that whole thing. But the fact that Danglars is investigating the Count means that the Count might also be giving himself a little bit of a timer and basically saying, okay, click, everything is set into motion now.
Right.
I cannot go back. I have to do things within this allotment of time.
Right.
Otherwise, things get scary.
Kind of for his own
I can
safety,
still
maybe.
just probably die to a silver bullet or something.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. But also just this is a delicate situation. I don't want to get so wrapped up in smelling the turkey and everything that I don't actually ever eat it.
Exactly.
Right. And that's, so
I'm going to the fear turkey.
Right, yeah. If anyone was like appalled by what I said earlier in the reaction, it's a Hellsing Ultimate Abridged reference. It's great. But yeah, because he's setting boundaries for himself basically. I am actually going to get my objective. I will enjoy it along the way, but I'm not there is a possibility that things could go badly for me. And that's one of the things that makes
all knowing, all seeing, all powerful.
Even though to the audience, he can really feel like it sometimes.
Really can.
And that little bit of like, he's not perfect at this. That is what makes it so enjoyable.
Right, because we know in there is a human being.
Right.
Even if it's wrapped in the powers of a vampire or the wealth of a god tier level business magnate.
I love that they just went from 500 million to like 14 trillion or whatever it was that
and then they scaled it back down to the and then some billions of pounds and stuff, and it's like so no what it casually is also is it's just the shade being thrown at the US and being like, the dollar those are in the trillions now. It's nothing,
Hyperinflation happened at some point.
Yeah. So the US dollar is like shit now.
That feels, if that is what it is, it feels very Snow Crash with the,
sure.
Like if you've read that book, it's hilarious how the amounts of money that they deal with are just stupid high because at some point, the money like
economic collapse for multiple nations.
You know,
and stuff.
it's
World
worth
economy
a
rebooted
10,000,
bunch,
you know, of what it used to be or something.
Right.
But,
but anyhow, really great stuff.
Yep.
Lots covered
and
lots set up.
And again, the visuals were fantastic. I know that 3D in anime gets a bad rep and everything, but I gotta say, even though the 3D in this show isn't like, you know, stellar on point all the time, right?
No.
Like it was very much early 2000s 3D. I love the ways in which they choose to use it and blend it with the 2D
Even
for
when it is
the
clunky.
artistic visuals, even when it's clunky.
Because that was the thing that felt weird about Haiti.
Oh yeah,
was that Haiti very much had the clunky, like boom, boom, you know, 3D
right.
kind of thing going on there, and yet all the stuff of her dress and
it
just
looked,
the hair and everything.
It was beautiful.
It was beautiful,
even if there was a bit of that like
wonky motion,
right? But I love it because there are things that 3D can be used for that are amazing, and I feel like this is a wonderful kind of exploration of that, and it's fun to look at how 3D was sort of thought of and used back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So
I cannot wait to see how Elbert interprets Hades'
Yeah.
collapse and what he does here.
Oh boy.
Because I think his likely assumption is probably close to accurate of
Yep.
what actually happened.
Oh, right.
Is that at some point either Morcerf sexually assaulted Haiti in some way,
Mhm.
or at the very least, maybe Haiti and him were together at some point in the middle of his marriage with Mercedes, and like maybe he's like promised to kill her at some point.
I got the feeling that it was
you know?
some kind of I could totally be remembering this wrong, right? But I get the feeling that it's probably some kind of like war crime type thing, right? Because right now he's the war hero, right? But it's sort of like but what if you find out that he's actually just the mountain that rides?
Yeah,
you know,
slaughtered a bunch of villagers that included her family.
Yeah,
her
exactly,
brothers
right.
And
You know,
or
and
something.
it's the no, I have done
despicable
horrible
human
things,
being,
right? Yeah, exactly. And that image needs to kind of be shattered.
Sure.
But
Y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get an early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access. You can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel.
We stream every weekday. The info's in the description.
Yeah, so if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.